The way Colt's fingers moved across those strings made my heart race in ways River's touch hadn't in months. I watched from the side of the stage, mesmerized by how he commanded that guitar, how every note seemed to vibrate through my core. The crowd was electric, but all I could focus on was him, the way his dark hair fell across his forehead, the intensity in his eyes as he lost himself in the music. River was somewhere backstage, probably talking business with the venue manager, completely oblivious to the fire building inside me. When Colt's gaze found mine through the stage lights, something shifted. The air between us crackled with unspoken possibilities. Hey, if you're enjoying this so far, hit that like button and subscribe. I promise this story gets even more intense. The venue had mostly emptied by the time River found me in the green room. Great show tonight, he said, pressing a quick kiss to my forehead. I've got to head back to the hotel early. Conference call with the label at 6 a.m. He was already reaching for his jacket, his mind clearly elsewhere. You coming? I glanced toward the door where I could hear Colt packing up his equipment. Actually, I think I'll stick around, help clean up. You know how I feel about leaving venues messy. River nodded absently, already scrolling through his phone. Sounds good, don't stay too late. Another distracted kiss, and he was gone, leaving me alone with the lingering echo of tonight's performance and the weight of what I was about to do. The door clicked shut behind him, and suddenly the air felt thicker. I could hear Colt's guitar case snapping closed in the next room. My pulse quickened. I smoothed my dress, a simple black number that River had barely noticed, but I'd caught Colt looking at more than once during soundcheck. Taking a deep breath, I walked toward the sound. Need any help? I called out, stepping into the main venue space. The stage lights were down to a dim glow, casting long shadows across the empty room. Colt looked up from coiling a cable, that slow smile spreading across his face. Always. His voice was rough from performing, gravelly in a way that sent shivers down my spine. Though I have to say I'm surprised you didn't leave with River. I moved closer, close enough to smell the faint scent of his cologne mixed with the honest sweat of performance. Maybe I wanted to tell you how incredible you were tonight. Just tonight? He set down the cable, turning to face me fully. The space between us felt charged, electric. Tonight was special. I let my fingers trace along the edge of his guitar case. The way you played that last song, it was like you were speaking directly to me. His eyes darkened. Maybe I was. The admission hung in the air between us. I could feel my heartbeat in my throat, in my fingertips, everywhere. Colt, I know. He stepped closer, close enough that I had to tilt my head back to meet his eyes. You're married. To my friend. To the man who gave me this gig. His hand came up to brush a strand of hair from my face. But right now, standing here with you, I can't bring myself to care about any of that. His touch sent electricity shooting through me. I should have stepped back, should have made some excuse and left. Instead, I leaned into his palm. River? We don't... I struggled to find the words. You don't have to explain. His thumb traced my cheekbone. I can see it. The way you look at each other, or don't look at each other. The way you light up during performances but dim the moment he walks into a room. It was like he'd been watching my marriage from the outside, seeing things I thought I'd hidden. It wasn't always like this. But it is now. He was so close I could feel his breath on my lips. And right now is all we have. When his mouth finally found mine, it was like coming alive after months of sleepwalking. The kiss was soft at first, tentative, giving me a chance to pull away. But I didn't want to pull away. I wanted to dive deeper, to lose myself in the heat, building between us. My hands fisted in his shirt, pulling him closer. He groaned against my lips, the sound vibrating through me. His hands spanned my waist, thumbs brushing just under the hem of my dress, sending sparks across my skin. We should go somewhere, he murmured against my mouth, somewhere private. I knew what he was asking, knew what it meant. The green room, I whispered, it locks. He didn't need to be told twice. His hand found mine, fingers interlacing as he led me through the dimly lit venue. Every step felt weighted with possibility and danger. When we reached the green room, he turned the lock with a soft click that seemed to echo in the quiet space. The moment the door was secure, his hands were on me again. More urgent this time, less careful. My back hit the wall and I gasped, the sound swallowed by his mouth. His body pressed against mine, solid and warm and real in a way that made my head spin. Are you sure? He asked, pulling back just enough to search my eyes. Because once we do this, I'm sure. The words left my lips before I could second-guess them. I need this. I need you. Something flashed in his eyes. Relief, desire, maybe a hint of possession. His hands slid up my sides, thumbs grazing the sensitive skin just below my silhouette. You're so beautiful, he whispered. River's an idiot for not seeing what he has. The mention of my husband should have stopped me, should have brought guilt crashing down. Instead, it only fueled the fire burning in my chest. "Don't talk about him," I breathed. "Not now." "You're right." His lips found my neck, pressing soft kisses along the column of my throat. "Right now, you're mine." The possessiveness in his voice made me weak. My head fell back against the wall as he worked his way down, his mouth leaving a trail of heat on my skin. When he reached the neckline of my dress, his hands found the zipper at my back. "May I?" he asked, his voice rough with want. I nodded, not trusting my voice. The sound of the zipper seemed impossibly loud in the quiet room. Cool air hit my skin as the fabric slipped away, but I felt nothing but heat, from his gaze, from his touch, from the fire building inside me. "God, look at you." His hands traced my silhouette, reverent and sure. Perfect. I reached for his shirt, suddenly desperate to feel his skin against mine. He helped me, pulling the fabric over his head in one smooth motion. My breath caught at the sight of him. Lean muscle, scattered tattoos, a body built for music and movement. My hands explored his chest, tracing the lines of ink that decorated his skin. Each touch drew a soft sound from his throat, sounds that went straight to my core. When my fingers found his belt, his hands covered mine. "Slow," he murmured. "I want to savor this." But I was beyond slow, beyond careful. I needed him with an intensity that surprised me. "Please," I whispered. "I need to feel you." He understood. His hands moved with purpose, mapping my body like he was memorizing every curve, every sensitive spot. When his fingers found the warmth between my legs, I gasped, my nails digging into his shoulders. "So ready for me," he whispered against my ear. "So warm." I was lost in sensation, in the way he touched me like I was something precious and wild at the same time. His fingers moved with the same skill he showed on stage, finding exactly the right rhythm, the perfect pressure. My breath came in short, gasps, my body arching against his touch. "That's it," he encouraged, his voice low and rough. "Let go for me." The peak hit me suddenly, washing over me in waves that left me trembling against him. He held me steady, his mouth finding mine again as I came down from the high. "Beautiful," he breathed against my lips. "Absolutely beautiful." I reached for him, needing to return the pleasure he'd given me. My hands worked his belt, his button, until I could wrap my fingers around him. He groaned, his forehead dropping to my shoulder as I stroked him with increasing confidence. "Your turn," I whispered, applying pressure just the way his breathing told me he liked. His whole body tensed under my touch, muscles coiled tight as I brought him closer to the edge. When he reached his peak, my name fell from his lips like a prayer. The sound sent another wave of heat through me, making me want him all over again. We stood there for a moment, breathing hard, skin damp with shared warmth. Reality began to creep back in, where we were, what we'd done, what it meant. Probably, I started, but he silenced me with a gentle kiss. "Not yet," he said. "Just stay with me a little longer." So I did. We moved to the small couch in the corner, his arms wrapped around me as we caught our breath. His fingers traced lazy patterns on my skin, and I felt more relaxed than I had in months. "What happens now?" I asked eventually, the question hanging heavy between us. "I don't know," he admitted. "I leave for the next city tomorrow. You go back to your life." The thought made my chest tight. "And River?" "Still don't want to talk about him." His arms tightened around me. "But you're going to have to decide what you want, what you need." I knew he was right. Tonight had changed something fundamental inside me. I'd remembered what it felt like to be desired, to be seen, to be touched like I mattered. I couldn't go back to sleepwalking through my marriage. "I should go," I said finally, though every part of me wanted to stay. He helped me dress, his touches gentle and lingering. At the door, he caught my hand. "Lily." He pulled me close one more time. "Whatever you decide, tonight was everything." I kissed him softly, trying to pour all my gratitude and desire and confusion into that one moment. I know. The drive back to the hotel felt surreal. My body still hummed with the memory of his touch, but guilt was starting to creep in around the edges. River would be asleep by now, probably never even noticing how late I'd stayed. I slipped into our room quietly, grateful for the darkness. River was indeed asleep, one arm flung across my side of the bed. Looking at him, I felt a strange mixture of affection and distance. He was a good man, but somewhere along the way, we'd stopped seeing each other. I showered quietly, washing away the evidence of the night while trying to hold on to the feeling. In the mirror, I looked different somehow, more alive, more present in my own skin. When I slipped into bed, River stirred slightly. "How'd the cleanup go?" he mumbled, not quite awake. "Fine," I whispered back. "Everything's taken care of." But As I lay there in the dark, I knew nothing was taken care of. If anything, tonight had complicated everything. I could still feel Colt's hands on my skin, still hear the way he'd said my name. And I knew, with a certainty that scared me, that I wanted to feel that way again. The next morning, River was already showered and dressed by the time I woke up. "Sleep well?" he asked, barely looking up from his phone. "Yes." I stretched, hyper-aware of every place Colt had touched. "How was your call?" "Good. Label wants us to extend the tour another month." He finally looked at me, but his expression was distracted. "Means more time on the road." "More time away from home," I said carefully. "Good for the career." He leaned down to kiss my forehead, the same distracted gesture as always. "I've got meetings all day. See you tonight?" After he left, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Thank you for last night. C." My heart raced just seeing his initial. I typed and deleted a dozen responses before settling on, "Thank you too." His reply came quickly. "If you ever want to talk to us about anything, I'm here." I stared at those words for a long time. He was offering me something River had stopped offering years ago. Attention, understanding, presence. The question was whether I was brave enough to take it. The next few days passed in a blur of rehearsals and sound checks. Colt and I maintained professional distance in front of River and the crew, but I felt his eyes on me constantly. During breaks, we'd find ourselves in the same corners of venues, talking about music and art and everything except the elephant in the room. "You're different," River observed one evening as we got ready for another show. "More, I don't know, energetic?" I froze, wondering if he could somehow see the truth written on my face. "It's a good tour," I said carefully. "I'm enjoying the music." "Good." He adjusted his tie in the mirror. "You've seemed happier lately." The irony wasn't lost on me. I was happier, because of stolen glances and whispered conversations with another man, because someone was paying attention to me in ways my husband had forgotten how to do. That night's show was electric. From the stage, I could see Colt in the wings, watching me with an intensity that made my voice stronger, my movements more confident. Every song felt like a conversation between us, coded messages passed through music. After the show, River disappeared. Again, more business calls, more meetings. It was becoming a pattern, and I was starting to suspect it was intentional. Maybe he felt the distance between us too, but didn't know how to bridge it. I found Colt breaking down his equipment, same as that first night. This time I didn't hesitate. "Need help?" I asked, the words carrying more weight than they should. He looked up, that slow smile spreading across his face. "Always." This time we didn't even pretend to pack equipment. The moment we were alone, his hands were in my hair, his mouth on mine. The want that had been building for days exploded between us. "I can't stop thinking about you," he confessed against my lips. "About that night." "Neither can I." I pulled him closer, desperate for his touch. "I've tried, but here we are." His hands found the hem of my shirt, fingers tracing the skin underneath. "Tell me to stop, and I will. Don't stop." The words came out breathless, desperate. "Please don't stop." This time was different, more urgent, more desperate. We moved together with a familiarity that shouldn't have existed, bodies remembering each other perfectly. When he lifted me onto the equipment case, I wrapped my legs around his waist, pulling him closer. "You're going to be the death of me," he groaned, his mouth working down my neck. "Then what a way to go," I breathed back. We lost ourselves in each other completely. Every touch, every kiss, every whispered endearment drove us higher. When the peak finally crashed over us, it was with an intensity that left us both shaking. Afterwards, as we held each other in the dim venue, reality felt impossibly far away. "This can't keep happening," I said, though my body was already craving his touch again. "I know." His fingers traced patterns on my back. "But I can't stay away from you. River's going to notice eventually. Is that what you want? For him to notice?" The question hung between us. Part of me did want River to notice, to fight for me, to remember why he'd fallen in love with me in the first place. But another part of me wondered if it was already too late for that. "I don't know what I want," I admitted. "Then figure it out," he said gently. "Because I'm not going anywhere. This tour, the next one, I'll be here. And every night you come to me, I'm going to give you everything I have." The promise in his voice made my heart race. He was offering me something I'd forgotten I could have: passion, attention, desire. The question was whether I was willing to risk everything for it. That night, lying next to River again, I made my decision. I couldn't keep living in this half-life, pretending everything was fine when it wasn't. Whether that meant fighting for my marriage or walking away from it entirely, something had to change. But as Colt's words echoed in my mind, "I'll be here," I knew which direction my heart was pulling me. River had stopped seeing me long ago. Colt made me feel alive again, made me remember who I was beneath the role of dutiful wife. The tour would end eventually, but this feeling didn't have to. For the first time in years, I was ready to fight for what I wanted instead of settling for what was expected. Some secrets change everything the moment they're born. If you were in my position, caught between duty and desire, what would you choose? Would you stay in the safe, familiar cage or risk everything for a chance at real passion? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and I'm genuinely curious about your thoughts. Before you go, smash that like button if this story hit you in the feels, subscribe for more stories that explore the complicated truth about love and desire, and hit the notification bell so you never miss when things get intense. Trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next.